that we have heard. And Vidura Maitreya Samvada. That also we have heard, Vidura Maitreya Samvada, right? Where the details of primary creation were given, and then birth of Brahma, his prayers and his creation, and Swayambhu Manu, how he appeared, and a little introduction for Varaha Deva and pregnancy of Diti, all that we have heard last time, right, in the last katha. And the third section is Lord Varaha's pastimes. That's what we are going to hear today. That's what we are going to hear now, yeah. And the fourth one is about the katha of Kardama Muni Devahuti. Fifth one is about Lord Kapila's instructions. So today we will hear about Lord Varaha's pastimes. So the topic is Lord Varaha's pastimes, but there is so much of Rupa and Guna Varnana of the Vaikuntha. So in this topic of Lord Varaha's pastimes, we will just hear the Virya Rasa of Lord Varaha with Hiranyakashipu for a little bit, but there is so much about the Vaikuntha. So our soothing shelter and nectar is here today in this katha. That's what we are going to discuss. So last time we have heard how Diti, how Diti got pregnant, and after that she was repenting that she was really hasty in asking for pregnancy in the wrong time, and then she was repenting. Then Kashyapa Muni, her husband, said, now that you are repenting so much, I want to tell you two good things. One is the sons, though you are going to give birth to evil sons, they will be killed in the hands of Hari. So that's one good thing. Second thing is your grandson is going to be a Mahabhagavata, Prahalada. So he says that, Kashyapa Muni. And now we will see the continuation here. I will take you to the PowerPoint. Yeah, I will have to share the screen. Getting ready to go to Vaikuntha Dhama Padarshana. And if you have time, please read in the Bhagavatam, in our original one, in the Bhagavatam, please read. Very, very, if we just read the translations itself, wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah, that's Vaikuntha Dhama. We are going to go there. So here, all these demigods. Yeah, you know, now the pregnant, Diti is pregnant and she has 2 sons in the womb. Yeah, so she comes to know that these 2 sons are going to be evil and they will cause a lot of problem to this universe. So that's why she holds her pregnancy for 100 years. Diti Devi, she holds. One reason is she doesn't want her sons. She doesn't want to see her sons killed soon, you know, like, you know, motherly affection. That is a little motherly selfish reason. The other reason is she understands that these sons are going to be evil. So she would like to postpone their birth. So the perils, troubles of the universe are postponed a little. That's why she holds the pregnancy for about 100 years in the womb. By this time, there are ominous signs in the universe. Dark clouds, darkness everywhere, gloomy everywhere, just opposite to the signs before the Lord's Advent on Janmashtami. On that day, just before the Lord's Advent, everywhere it's just cheerful, happy, all auspicious signs. But here now, with this pregnancy, all inauspicious signs were there in the universe. And these demigods, they got hurt up, they got scared, they were wondering why all this has happened. And then they go to Brahmadeva. For any problem here in the material universe, they have to go to Brahmadeva. He is the portal. He is the, he is the portal to send the message to the different realm, to Lord Vishnu. He's the via media person. So the demigods went to Brahma, and they were offering prayers to Brahma. The demigods, they were saying, "Oh Brahma, you are, all the planets exist within you. In the stem of the Padma, of lotus flower, all the planetary systems are there, right? Yeah. So in that way, all the planets exist in you, and you have generated all these living beings here. Our respects to you, you know everything. So please solve this problem. What is this happening? Would you please kindly tell us?" This is what demigods go and request Brahma. They request Brahma to please kindly explain what is going on and what they should do. Here, so a life lesson for us here. These demigods, they could have just gone to Brahma and say, "See, you have appointed us in this post, and we are supposed to take care of these responsibilities, material affairs. And what do you think? How do you think we can do our job when all these obstacles are coming in the universe? Can't you do something about it? Don't you know what is happening?" That was not the tone of the demigods. That was not the tone of the demigods. Their tone was respectful. They are like, "We do not know what is happening. Would you please kindly tell us what is happening and what we are going to do, what we need to do." Two things here in our life. The subordinates, like, parents and children, how the children can, in our day and age, how the children can really question the parents. Their attitude sometimes can be like, "You are our parents, of course you gave birth, so you'll have to provide this and that and this and that." That kind of attitude is not uncommon. It's not uncommon in this day and age. The lack of that respect and affection to our superiors, which is called as mamata, that can only bring loss to the subordinates and pain to the caregivers. More than the authority, we want to look at them as caregivers. They are giving care to us. Parents are giving care to us. And Guru is giving care to the disciples. So as disciples, as children, we want to be respectful and affectionate to our caregivers. We don't want to have a tone of that demand and audacity and look at them as an authoritative figure and try to defy them. That's not going to be good for us. It will not affect the authorities, but it might pain the authorities. It will not affect them much. See, for example, if the children have this kind of attitude towards the parents, what would the parents do? They would just, whatever minimal responsibility they hold on to, they just give the care that they have to give as parents to the children, if the children has that kind of attitude. But if the children has affectionate, respectful attitude, parents give themselves to children, and that is going to be good for the children, right? So that is something that we want to really remember. There are always superiors for us in our life, whatever position we might be, whatever position, there are always superiors for us. If we adopt, if we learn to be respectful and affectionate to them, it is we that can get benefited. If we are not adopting that kind of congenial mood, it is we are at loss. They will not be at loss. Our superiors, our Gurujanas, whoever are they are not at loss. They may be pained. So that's something that we want to remember. And this is called submissive mode. Submissive is not done out of force. Submissive in devotion, submissive is done out of respect and affection. This is a life lesson for us. Okay, demigods, they have asked Brahma that. And so Brahma, now he starts narrating. Okay, I'll tell you why it is so gloomy here, how all these inauspicious signs are happening. You know what? Mother Diti, she has 2 sons in her womb. I'll tell you the story of how these 2 sons came into her womb. Yeah? And now he narrates. Once upon a time, now the story starts. See, I have these 4 sons, 4 Kumaras, and they were doing the traveling tour. They can travel everywhere. So once they traveled to Vaikuntha. These 4 Kumaras, they went to Vaikuntha. And then they saw this beautiful Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is misery. Vaikuntha is no misery. We all know about this Kuntha. This world made of 3 modes, which is equal to miseries. Always anxiety, pain, right? This is Kuntha. And that world which has no anxiety or pain is Vaikuntha. Now, Kumaras, these 4 Kumaras, when they enter Vaikuntha, what did they see? Okay. Through the description of the Bhagavatam, through the eyes of the 4 Kumaras, let's have the darshan of Vaikuntha. So, these 4 Kumaras enter the Vaikuntha Dhama. Everybody in the Vaikuntha, everybody is looking like Lord Vishnu. All of them have Chaturbhuja, 4 arms. All of them are beautiful. Yeah. And the Lord is existing in Vaikuntha there to give pleasure to his devotees. Because all the devotees wanted to go to Vaikuntha Dhama to be with the Lord. So to give them the pleasure, Lord is existing there. Lord is existing there for the pleasure of the devotees. Devotees are existing there for the pleasure of the Lord. First thing in Vaikuntha. Okay. And Vaikuntha forest. In the forest of Vaikuntha, all the trees are Kalparuksha trees. So, Kalparuksha tree. If I go to a tree or any tree, a neem tree, say a neem tree, and I ask for a mango, can you please give me mango? The neem tree would give mango because it's a Kalparuksha. You ask anything, regardless of whatever it is, it will give you what you ask. And imagine, why would a Vaikunthavasi ask a Kalparuksha tree? Vaikuntavasis are existing there for the pleasure of Narayana. So even if they're going to the Kalpavruksha tree, that would be to ask something for the pleasure of Lord Narayana. Okay? Whole different world, whole different software. There's no virus there. That's a Vaikuntha software. So that is Kalpavruksha tree. Yeah? Lord is existing for the pleasure of the devotees. Devotees are there for the pleasure of the Lord. And the Kalpavruksha trees, all the trees are also conscious. They are also personalities. They are conscious. They can reciprocate. So when you ask, they reciprocate. They give you. So everything is a being there, conscious being there, ready to reciprocate with you. That's about the trees. And then about the couples in Vaikuntha. As we have men and women here, in Vaikuntha also, there are couples. What is it that is different about the couples in Vaikuntha and about here? Vaimanika salalanash charitani shashvat gayanti atra shamalakshapanani bhartuhu antarjale anuvikasan madhumadhavinam gandhena khandita dhiyo apyanalam kshipantaha. Vaimanika salalana charitani shashvat. In the Vimanas, in the Vaikuntha Vimanas, along with their wives, Charitani Shashvat Gayanti, they are Gayanti, singing the Charita of Shashvat, the eternal Lord. Yatra shamalak shapanani batu. Yatra shamalak shapanani. That place is free of any faults. And they are doing the Gayanti of Bhattuhu, the Lord. So when they are doing the Gayanti, when they are glorifying the Lord, traveling in their personal Vaikunta planes. See, the Vaikunta couple are traveling in their own personal Vaikunta planes, doing what? Gayanti. Charitani Shashwat Bhartuhu. They are glorifying the Lord of Vaikunta. That's what they're doing in their private Vaikunta airplanes. And then what happened? Antarjale Anuvikasan Madhumadavina. Their Vaikunta airplanes are not made of metals. That planes have beautiful gardens also in those planes. You see in this picture here, they're swan-like, huh? And they have beautiful gardens also. And from that gardens, Madhumadhavinam. So Madhumadhavinam Gandhena, the Gandha of Madhumadhavinam, the flowers in the garden, Antarjale Anuvikasen. They entered into the nostril of these Vaikunta couples. They are very fragrant. The Gandham is very fragrant. The fragrance from these Vaikunta flowers is intoxicating. But what are these Vaikunta couples doing? Khandita. They do not want this fragrant flowers, fragrance from the flowers. Khandita. Why? Diyopiyapi anilam kshipantaha. Because they do not want to get deviated from glorifying the Lord of the Vaikuntha Narayana. That is what they want. That is what they are intoxicated with. So, any fragrance of the flowers and their nice fragrance, enjoying the fragrance is not a consideration for them. Sense gratification is not a consideration for them. The only consideration is to be absorbed in the glories of the Vaikuntha Natha Narayana. So, zero sense gratification. In the personal Vaikuntha, Vimanas, Gayanti of Narayana, don't want any deviation, only absorbed in the glorification of Narayana, zero sense gratification, Vaikuntha. Yeah. And next, that's about the Vaikuntha couples, men and women there. How about the birds, the Vaikuntha birds and Vaikuntha flowers? And please remember, every being there, the tree, the bird, the leaf, the stone, everything is a being, a conscious, blissful being. So what about the birds there? Paravatanya Bratasarasa Chakravaka Dhatyuha Hamsa Shukatittiri Barhinam Yaha Kolahalo Viramate Achiramatram Bringadhipaye Harikatam Ivagayamane. Paravata, Anyabrata, these are all the names of the Vaikuntha birds. Paravata, Anyabrata, Sarasa, Chakravaka bird, Datyuha, Hamsa, Shuka is parrot, Tittiri, Barhinam is peacock. All of these birds, and cuckoo also is there, which can really sing, which can sing melodious tunes. Yeah, all these beautiful birds are chirping joyfully, kolahalo, are doing lot of kolahalam, joyfully chirping in their sweet tones. And then what happened? Viramite, they paused. Why did they pause? Achiramatra muchair, bringadipe harikadam ivagayamani. There was a bringa, a bumblebee that is coming. What is the bumblebee doing? It's just humming. Then why did all of them Viramite? Why did all of this sweet voiced, sweet singing birds stop their singing and chirping? Because this bumblebee's hissing is mimicking Harikatha. Achiramatra Muchera, a bumblebee just was passing by with this humming sound, which is mimicking Harikatha, not even Harikatha. So all these birds stopped their kolahalam, so they can hear something that is similar, that is mimicking Harikatha. Look at the whole atmosphere here. Here is the bumblebee just passing by. What is it when it is compared to all these birds who are very expert in sweet singing? So that Matsarya, envy is not there. Those birds, they just paused, Viramite, because they wanted to hear this bumblebee hissing, which is similar to Harikatha. And bumblebee in its own world, doing its own service, Harikatha, whatever it can do. So this doesn't have the inferiority complex, this bumblebee. And all those beautiful birds, they don't have the superiority complex. And everybody's attention here is Harikadam Ivagayamane. Whatever is sounding like Harikatha, whatever is Harikatha, they want to get absorbed in that. So, zero Matsaryam, no envy, no superior, no inferior, no wonderful sweet tune, no zzz. What is it that is reminding us of Lord Hari? That is where everybody is hanging on to and getting attracted to. That's Vaikuntha. How about the beautiful flowers there? Okay, the Vaikuntha flowers. Mandara kunda kurabot palachampakarna Punnaganaga bakulambuja parijataha Gandher chite tulasika bharanena tasya Yasmin stapassu manaso bahumanayanti Mandara, Kunda, Kuraba, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punnaga, Naga, Bakula, Ambuja, Parijata. Sweet, fragrant, beautiful flowers. All of them, what are they doing? Gandher chite tulasika bharanena tasya. They are bowing down to Tulsi. Why are they bowing down? Because Yasmin tapassu manaso bahumanayanti. They are acknowledging, they are bowing down to all the austerities that Tulsi Devi has performed to please the Lord. So here it's the devotion. It's the devotion that rules, that predominates. Everybody bows down to the devotion. No matter how beautiful all these flowers are, how fragrant they are, it's the devotion that weighs and that reigns in this Vaikuntha. So that is Vaikuntha Dhama, where the devotion is honored and worshipped. So there is no madam here, zero madam. All these flowers, they didn't have mada, pride. Oh, I am so beautiful, look at my fragrance. Oh, wait a minute. More superior is the devotion here of Tulsi Devi and her austerity. So zero madam, zero masaryam, zero sense gratification. And Lord Narayana is existing there for the pleasure of the devotees. Devotees are there for the pleasure of the Narayana. And what about the men and women of Vaikuntha here? What is their predisposition? Yat sankulam haripadanati matra drishtai vaidurya marakatahe mamayir vimanai esham brihat kati tata smita shobhi mukhyaha krishnatmanam narajadudur smayatyaham krishnatman. So this, as we have heard, Yashankulam Haripadanati Matra Drishtair. The whole Vaikunta is, in the air of Vaikunta, is the aura of the lotus feet of the Lord. Vaidurya Markata Hema Mayair Vimanai. All their Vimanas are studded with all these jewels. And very intimately are present the couples. And these Vaikunta women are so beautiful than the women of Bhuloka. Actually, than the Miss Universe, Miss Worlds of Bhuloka, much more beautiful are the Apsaras in the heavenly world. And many more folds beautiful than the Apsarasas in the heavenly world are the women of Vaikunta, beauty personified. And they are intimately dealing with their husbands. But what is their predisposition inside? Krishnatmanam naraja adudur utsmayadyaha. They are all Krishnatmanam. Their consciousness is absorbed in Krishna. Even though they are intimately moving with their husbands, their consciousness is absorbed in Krishna, not in the attraction in the opposite gender. Na Raja Adudur, there is no passion there. From passion comes the lust. Lust is not there. Zero lust. That is Vaikuntha. Despite that beauty, and despite all the great, wonderful, fragrant flowers around, they are all Krishnatmana, because zero sense gratification, zero lust. How is this possible? Because this is Vaikuntha. This is possible for them because they are Krishnatmanam. They are attracted to Krishna, Lord Hari. That's why na Raja Adudur. That's why passion is not touching them. See, there are many yogas. Even in the Ashtanga Yoga, we know about Shaubari Muni. He was a mystic. Right? He had that siddhis also. He went down into Yamuna and then did tapasya for so many thousands of years, got the siddhis. But it didn't take too much for him to get disturbed with lust. Just seeing two fishes coming to mate has disturbed him. So lust can be that strong. That strong. But more stronger than that physical attraction, than trapping in that Annamaya Kosha, is Krishnatmana. See, the sense gratification, lust, attraction to the opposite gender, that happens at the level of Annamaya Kosha, very lower level. Annamaya Kosha, physical platform. Attraction that happens to the opposite gender is at Annamaya Kosha. Then comes the Manomaya Kosha. After Annamaya is Pranamaya, then Manomaya, then Vijnanamaya, and then Anandamaya. These Vaikuntha Vasis, they are in Anandamaya Kosha, not in the Annamaya Kosha. That's why zero lust. That's why all the bhajans of acharyas or any saints of any tradition, because their consciousness is uplifted from Annamaya Kosha, past Manomaya, past Vijnanamaya, towards Anandamaya. That's why lust does not bother them, because they are so much attracted to the Anandamaya Kosha. So Adudur Utsmayadyaha, they just, anything that happens in the Annamaya Kosha, they disregard it because they have a higher taste. So with the bhakti, with the higher taste, the lower taste can be disregarded. Otherwise, these are very difficult to disregard. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, right, Vishaya vinirvartante niraharasya dehina. though there is a pulling for the lower enjoyment, rasovarjam, rasopyasya, rasovarjam, they will be able to overcome the lower pulling, rasovarjam, rasopyasya, even though there is an inclination to enjoy the lower pulling, they will still be able to overcome. Though there is an inclination, they will still be able to overcome by param drishtva nivartate. Param, something superior. Drishtva, by perceiving, by relishing. Nivartate, they will be able to discard the lower pleasures. So that is the whole principle of bhakti. As we go towards enjoying the rasa of the service to the Lord, of the katha of the Lord, everything related to the Lord, that is bhakti rasa. Our focus, our time, and our efforts are to invest in this enjoying the higher pleasure of bhakti rasa, and the lower rasas will slowly follow. Yeah, param drishtva nivartate. That's the lesson for us. Bhakti is so potent and so tasty that the lower taste will automatically go away. So that's zero last in Vaikuntha. And what is Lakshmi Devi doing here? What are all these Vaikuntha Vasis and Lakshmi Devis are doing? Here, Sri Rupini Kvanayati Charanaravindam Leelambujena Harisadmani Mukta Dosha. Their ankle bells are twinkling, and in their hands they are twirling the lotus flowers. And also they want to clean the Vaikuntha walls, which are already very clean and shining and are bedecked with gold. Why are they trying to do that? So they can attract some mercy of the Lord. So their effort also is to attract the mercy of the Lord through service. Vaikuntha is the world of service. Goloka is the world of service. Unless we understand that and cultivate that servitude every day, all the time, how are we going to be permitted in the world of service? We cannot break open the walls and then enter the world there. That is world of service, blissful service. Unless I desire it and then voluntarily want to do it, get the fuel from the sadhus, their taste, under their taste and guidance. Unless I do it here in this world, I try to do it and I ask for it, what would I do in Vaikuntha, which is the Vaikuntha or Golaka, which is the world of joyful service. So joyful service, servitude, that is what we want to cultivate day in and day out when we are practicing Cheshta Rupa Bhakti. Our Bhava Rupa Bhakti should be joyful servitude. Those are the lessons for us from Vaikuntha. And now this Vaikuntha is so wonderful, so beautiful. We want to go there, to that place where there is no kunta, no misery. Who can go there? Those whose bodies show ecstatic symptoms arising due to attachment of Harikatha. We have just discussed, right? Unless I am very eager to absorb myself in the Katha of the Lord, in relishing anything related to the Lord, in relishing the service to the Lord. And when that relishing happens so much that I have ecstatic symptoms, because what's inside comes outside. When the relishment is there so much inside, then the body would show it as ecstatic symptoms. Then it is quite evident that for that devotee, this material world is not the place, but a world of ecstatic service, which is spiritual realm, as we have just discussed. ecstatic servitude to Bhagavan in any way and form possible. When we are completely like that, it means our spiritual body is evolving from within. And that's when we can enter into Vaikuntha. So Bhagavatam is saying, this is Lord Brahma saying this. So whoever has those ecstatic bodily symptoms, then due to the attachment to Harikatha, Harikatha is equal to Hari is equal to Hari Seva, anything related to Bhagavan, ecstasy in bhakti related to Bhagavan, then they go to Vaikuntha. Very obvious, right? Who cannot go to Vaikuntha? Yanna vrajanti agabido rachananuvada shrunvanti. Yanna vrajanti. These people, na vrajanti, they do not go. Agabido, those, one who is vanquisher of all sins. Rachananuvada shravanti ye anya vishaya. If they are hearing anya vishaya, any other vishaya, kukata, which is kukata. Sukata is good kata. Kukata is bad kata. What is bad kata? Inauspicious. Auspicious is spiritual. Inauspicious is material. Auspicious is. So if somebody is hearing anya kata, the kata that is not spiritual and which is inauspicious, that is gramya kata, matigni, their intelligence is destroyed. So they, yanna vrajanti, they will not be able to go to Vaikuntha. Yastu shruta hata bagher, ribir atha saras. Tam shipanti asharaneshu. They don't have the shelter. Tam shipanti. They will be thrown into tamasu, ignorance, hanta, alas. Brahma is saying that, alas, this Vaikuntha is so blissful. Everybody would want to enter there, but this is the qualification. When somebody is having ecstatic bodily symptoms, when they're hearing this, Harikatha is equal to Hariseva, then they can go to Vaikuntha. But whoever is not hearing about Lord Hari, but are absorbed in the Gramya Katha, which is destroying their intelligence, they will just be buried more and more into intelligence, but they cannot go to Vaikuntha. Hataviti, what to do? Alas. And that's why Brahma, these are the words of Brahmadeva. He says, oh demigods, listen, this is why we also want to have human birth. These are the words of Lord Brahma. This is why we want to have human birth too, because we want to hear about Lord Hari and get to such an absorption that we have that ecstatic bodily symptoms also, so we can be qualified to enter into Vaikuntha. And human birth is very appropriate for that, because there's not so much of sukham and not so much of dukkham in human birth. In the upper planetary systems, there's so much of sukham. And in the hellish planets, there is so much of dukkham. Both are not congenial to have smarana of Hari. Human birth is the right machine. Proportionate dukkham and sukham. So we can be geared towards calling out to Hari. We are not so unconscious with pain, so we can call out to Hari. We are not so much drowned in the sense gratification, so we can call out to Lord Hari. That's why human birth, this human body, this vehicle is very precious. Demigods, Lord Brahma, he is saying this to the demigods. That's why here, all of you, that's why we want to desire that human birth. In that human body, we can hear Harikatha. We can be absorbed in Lord Hari's Katha. So those are the qualifications to enter Vaikuntha, disqualification, and the importance of human birth. Okay, that's the conversation. And now we have seen what Vaikuntha atmosphere is, how those beings are there. here comes these 4 Kumaras, the oldest beings, but appearing so small as children, 5-year-old children. So they entered Vaikuntha. They entered all the 6 doors of Vaikuntha, and they came to the 7th door. When these Kumaras entered, they were just opening all the 6 doors, and they came to the 7th door. They saw this beautiful Dwarapalakas, Jaya and Vijaya. But when they looked at their faces were not so pleasant. These 4 Kumaras were wondering, what? Why are these Dwarapalakas a little agitated? This is so not of Vaikuntha, not befitting Vaikuntha. Maybe they are not Vaikuntha Vasis. Vaikuntha is such a place where everything is in harmony with Lord Narayana here. There is no fear here. There is no agitation here. Why are we seeing little agitation on their faces? It doesn't befit them. So for them, this is not the right place, because this is a place of no agitation. So for their own benefit, we are cursing that they have to go to a place where there is agitation, which is Kunta. They were not disturbed, these 4 Kumaras. And in the interest of these Dwarapalakas, they cursed, same as Narada Muni cursing those Yamala Arjuna, sons of Nalakuvera. They were not agitated, but looking at the agitation of this Jaya and Vijaya, they said, for their benefit, they have to go to a place of Kunta. This is not a befitting place. And their eyes were red, these Kumaras, and we think it is out of anger. Anger on Jaya Vijaya? No. They were hankering to see Lord Narayana so much. Out of that hankering, their eyes were red. So these are really exalted Kumaras. So they cursed this Jaya Vijaya that they had to go to material plane. Then the Jaya Vijaya, they request these Kumaras to please, it's okay to curse, but please see that they do not forget their Lord Narayana, even if they go to material world. So that's happening at the 7th door of Vaikuntha. All this scene is happening there. And then as soon as the curse is given, Lord Narayana, sensing that something is happening there at the Vaikuntha Dwara, Bhagavatam beautifully describes, those feet that are the shelter of all the sadhus, those feet that are the very abode of all tirthas, they started walking towards Kumaras to greet them. And along with that, with Lord Narayana, Mother Lakshmi also accompanied, and all other his associates also accompanied him. These 4 Kumaras, they saw Lord Narayana with Mother Lakshmi coming and all his associates. They were statues, stunned. How is Lord Narayana appearing there? First of all, the paraphernalia. The chamara that these Vaikuntha Sevaks are doing is saying, it's so gracefully swaying as swans. The chamaras on either side. And with that, the chamara, the air is moving, and that is moving the pearls of the umbrella this way and that way. And it is appearing as if those dewdrops are falling down. And then the beauty of Lord Narayana was described. How beautiful is that helmet ornamented with all the jewels, and how beautiful are those kundalas, the earrings, which are makara shaped. After saying that, Bhagavatam says, These helmets and these makaras are made more beautiful because of the resplendence of the Lord, his smile and his beautiful nose. Again, he is bharanam, ornament of all ornaments, the Lord, as we discussed in the last class, right? After that, the garland that is freely flowing and the bumblebees around the garland, and his yellow silken dhoti and the girdle on his waist, all of that. And the Lord's beauty was so enchanting, and his presence was so cooling and calming that the Kumaras were mesmerized. They haven't seen the form of the Lord before. They have only heard of the form. And now they are thinking, this Lord, who he appears in the hearts of the Ashtanga yogis in the trance, is right in front of our eyes, giving the darshan. How enchanting is his beauty. And how mesmerizing is his presence. And then they bow down. They just, with that mesmerizing effect, they just bow down to the lotus feet of the Lord. And then what happens? One more magic. Tasya ravindanayanasya padaravinda kinjal kamishra tulasi makaranda vayuhu antargata swavivarena chakara tesham sanshobhamaksharajusham apichitta tanvo. Then these Kumaras, they bow down. Tasya aravinda, Tasya, the Lord, aravinda nayanasya, he has this lotus-shaped, beautiful eyes. Padaravinda kinjalka, and his feet are also soft like lotus. And the toes, kinjalka, are toes. The fragrance of the lotus feet, the toes of the lotus feet of Lord Hari, his transcendental fragrance, Mishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu, got mixed with the fragrance of Tulasi Devi that is present at the toes, and that Makaranda Vayu, that fragrance, Antargata Svavivarena, went inside into the nostrils of these Kumaras, Svavivarena, nostrils of Kumaras, Chakarate Sham Sanshobham. That for Kumaras, it caused Sanshobham, agitation. Akshara Jusham, they were attached to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti so far. They do not know what this spiritual agitation means, but they are experiencing apichitta tanvo in their chitta, in their consciousness, tanvo in their body also. The spiritual agitation in their consciousness and body that they have not experienced before while they were absorbed in the Brahma Jyoti, that they are experiencing here in the Vaikuntha after the breeze entered into the nostril, the breeze, which is a combination of the transcendental aroma of the lotus feet of the Lord mixed with the gandha of Tulasi Devi, who is serving the lotus feet of the Lord. So, Tulasi Devi, who is serving at the lotus feet of the Lord, her effect with the transcendental fragrance of the Lord has caused transcendental agitation in the four Kumaras. And what are they saying after that call, after that transcendental agitation? The Kumaras could not help themselves but just to meditate on the Lord's personal feature like that. It was Lord's presence was so pleasing. And the Kumaras were saying, "Oh Lord, we got your rare darshan today. We have heard that you have a form, transcendental form. We have heard it from our father, but we haven't seen before. Now we are having darshan, and now we are having this transcendental agitation today. How wonderful is your personal form." Only through unflinching bhakti your form can be understood, my Lord. That Tulsi Devi, who has that unflinching bhakti to you. I mean, Tulsi Devi was there, who is a pure devotee of God. Through the association of the pure devotee of God, the bhakti is transmitted into the heart of the Kumaras. So now they are realizing, and they're saying, through unflinching bhakti, only your form can be understood. No wonder all those who are absorbed in Brahma Jyoti, they may be absorbed in their own Ananda, but they cannot understand your form. It's only with unflinching bhakti we can understand. Look at our examples. We didn't know about you before. We didn't experience you before. We didn't see you before. But now we can't take off our eyes from your transcendental form. So devotees, because they are immersed in experiencing the taste of hearing Harikatha, it is because they hear about the glories of your form, which is so enchanting, which is so addicting. This is why devotees don't even care for liberation. Liberation means wanting to go away from the miseries. But the devotees don't care if the miseries are there or not, if the anarthas are there or not. What they care is, do I have ruchi for Govinda? Do I have the ruchi for Harikatha? Do I have the ruchi for Krishna Seva? So their taste is always up there. They don't care if there are miseries. They don't care for liberation. No wonder why, my Lord. You are so intoxicating. May we be born in hell. It's okay if we're born in hell. This is all for Kumaras, dear devotees, who were so much firmly fixed in Brahman realization, the Brahman realization, impersonal bliss. And now, after getting the taste, after having the darshan of the Lord and getting the taste of pure devotion, what are they saying? It's okay if we're born in hell, but we pray that our body, mind, and words be engaged in your service. They got the Seva Ruchi now. Up until now, they had only Mukti Ruchi. Now they have the Bhakti Ruchi, Seva Ruchi. So this is why they're saying, it's okay. Hell is okay with us. We don't care for liberation. All we want is your Seva, your loving service. We offer our respects to your transcendental form. We are very much satisfied in our mind and vision, my Lord. So those are the words of Kumaras. Kumaras, the four Kumaras, we have already seen how they are taken aback. They are statues and they can get their eyes off from the darshan of the Lord, and they are glorifying. They are talking all these words of pure devotees because they have just smelled the ganda of Tulsi Devi. And now, what is Lord Narayana doing? How is he responding to Kumaras? This is even more. Up until now, it is the ruchi of the rupa of Bhagavan there. Now, look what happens when the Bhagavan, that enchanting, pleasing Bhagavan, starts to speak. What happens when we get to know little more about the glory of our Bhagavan? So, Lord, after these four Kumaras prayed like that, Lord is saying, oh, I am so sorry. Matva Gira Panayana. His speech is so gentle. And he says, oh, four Kumaras, I'm so sorry. Because this is all the scene that is happening at the Vaikuntha gate, right? The Vaikuntha Dwara. All this has happened. And these Kumaras, they had their turn to have the darshan. They had this effect. They had this agitation, spiritual agitation, transformation. They offered the prayers. They glorified. All this happened. And now it's Lord's turn to reciprocate. And the Lord is speaking now. Oh, so sorry that my servants offended you. And I approve the punishment. Whatever curse you have given to my servants, I approve it. Because they should not have offended. Yeah? And I am taking that responsibility. I am taking the responsibility of my servants. So please, on their behalf, I am also seeking forgiveness. Would you please forgive? This is the Lord speaking to 4 Kumaras. By this time, Kumaras are like statues, stunned, don't know what else to do, and glorifying. And what would happen to these Kumaras when the Lord of the universes is saying, oh, so sorry, I take this responsibility of my servants offending you? That is one more transcendental blow on them. And the next, what is the Lord saying? Yatsevaya charana padma pavitra renam satya shatakhila malam pratilabdha shilam nashri viraktam apimam vijahati yasyah prekshala vartha itare niyaman vahanti. See, my lotus feet, the dust of my lotus feet is so glorious, so potent, that it can purify even Chandala. I agree. Lord is saying that. Yes, I agree. But you know why there is that potency in the dust of my lotus feet? It's because I serve my devotees. The dust of my lotus feet is so potent because I serve my devotees. And Lakshmi Devi is also serving me. But I consider my devotees more. I am not attracted to Lakshmi Devi, but I'm attracted to the Vaishnavas. I consider their foot dust more. I want to serve them. These are the words of Bhagavan. And after that, he says, you know who pleases me? Who respects the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. Brahmanas is Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Whoever knows the knowledge of Brahman, the Lord, and his attributes is Brahmana, not by birth. So Vaishnavas know about the Lord. So whoever respects these real Brahmanas or Vaishnavas, even though they utter harsh words, dear devotees, Dinada Pisanichena. Yeah. So the Lord really likes this. Even though the Vaishnavas, whoever is tolerating and respecting the Vaishnavas, even though Vaishnavas utter harsh words, those are dear to the Lord. That's what he says. They please him with their tolerance with the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas don't utter harsh words. Vaishnavas means they don't. But if they are uttering, there is a reason. You know, like Narada Muni uttering harsh words or anybody uttering harsh words, there is a reason, like this Kumaras uttering harsh words. So if Vaishnavas are uttering harsh words and if somebody tolerates them, then that is pleasing to me. He says that. And what is displeasing to me? Whoever is not considering the Vaishnavas or Brahmanas, cows, they are displeasing to me. He says that. So that's why I give so much of respect and importance to Vaishnavas. That's why. And I owe all the potency of my dust of the lotus feet to the service I do for the Vaishnavas. Hearing these words, Kumaras didn't know what to make out of these words. They are like, "Kuch samajh mein nahi aa raha. We are already taken back. He is so pleasing. He is so enchanting. All we want is his service. His speech is so gentle and he is apologizing and he is now saying that the foot dust of the Vaishnavas is my shelter. That is the reason for my potency." We are too small to understand this. They could not fathom all this. And they go, okay, oh Lord, we cannot comprehend your speech. We cannot comprehend your activities. These are just your pastimes. Just because you're offering these kind of words which may sound like menial, this does not diminish your glory, my Lord. It only enhances as your pastime. So they say that. And they say your potency is not reduced because of your gentle, humble speech. And like that, they say. And after that, the Lord says, After the Lord acknowledge what Kumaras have to say, then he says, okay, now it's okay. The punishment to this Jaya and Vijaya is I am approving it. By the way, this was going to happen anyway. It's because once Lakshmi Devi, when she wanted to enter into Vaikuntha also, Jaya Vijaya stopped her and she got upset. She also gave the same curse. So it is, I approve this. That's what Lord Narayana says. And the reason here is, he says that, this is foretold when Lakshmi Devi was in anger. And he also says that they will go down to the material world and they will continue meditation on me. They will not forget me, but it will be in anger. And they will return to me shortly. Okay? And so he closes the scene like that with those words. Yes, I approve this curse. They will go to the material world, but they will not forget me. And then the curse was like, if they have to return quickly to Vaikuntha, then it would be 3 birds thinking of Lord in enmity. And if it is more birds, yes, that would be thinking of Lord in favorable mood, but it would take a long time to come back to Vaikuntha. So finally, the decision was, yes, 3 birds and thinking the Lord in enmity. And the whole reason is because Lord Narayana, he wanted to exhibit this Virya Rasa, the fighting spirit. It is not befitting to fight in Vaikuntha. So Lord cannot fight in Vaikuntha. And who else can fight with the Lord unless he is empowering his own devotees? So in order to enjoy that Virya Rasa, then this Vaikuntha Vas is the Jaya Vijaya. Whatever has happened so far is because the Lord wanted to enjoy Virya Rasa. So that is one more reason. Lakshmi Devi cursing, Kumaras cursing, these are all the external reasons. So Brahmaji, he says all this story. And then he comes to the starting point. This is what has happened. So that Jaya and Vijaya, they are going to come as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. They are in the womb of Mother Diti now, and this is why everything is gloomy around. It says that. And after that, after saying all this, Brahma says, right now, there is not much for us to do. We just have to wait for the Lord to come, do his pastime, and kill this Hiranyaksha. That's it. Brahma says that, and the demigods leave from there. We wonder, what? Back to square one. We came here. We have heard the story. It still didn't change anything external. We will think like that, right? The life lesson is, what is happening? Here, they have heard Krishna Katha, the demigods. Brahmadeva was saying. So, whatever anxiety, whatever questions they have had before, they're not there now. Externally, nothing has changed. But internally, they know that there is an assurance, that things will get better. So they have the hope and they have the assurance in the future. But as they walk through the difficulty, they still have the shelter to hold on to. Like Brahmadeva is giving Krishna Katha. So Hari Katha is our shelter internally to hold on to as we walk through the difficulties until Lord can settle down and give some help for us externally also. So we may not see sometimes that the problem is solved outside, but until the problem is solved outside, there is a shelter for us to hold on to the Lord. So we don't go through the problem alone by ourselves. We take Krishna with us. He gives us the strength. He gives us the immunity. He gives us he dispels the darkness sitting in the heart. So he gives us the vision. He gives us the inspiration. Everything happens within, though we are walking through the difficulty until the Lord can do something outside. That is what we want to learn from this. Not because, even though things does not change externally, Lord is trying to change something internally. So all the time, the Lord is offering help. either internally or externally or combined, but the help is always there. Yeah. So this is the katha. Oh, we are glad. That's really the juice of the katha today. Vaikuntha. The rest of them is just Virya Rasa. They'll be in just 5 minutes. This is Hiranyaksha coming. You know, the Hiranyaksha takes birth, and yeah, Hiranyaksha takes birth, and he goes to Varuna, and he asks for a fight, and Varuna says, "Oh, I am too." Varuna is the ocean, you know, the lord of ocean. He says, "No, I am kind of too old. Maybe you should just invite Lord Vishnu to fight, because you seem to be very strong. You need a befitting opponent. I am too old." He's smart. So though there is provocation, we don't have to respond to external provocations. That's something from Varuna. So Varuna directs to Lord Vishnu, and then Varahadeva, he starts fighting with Hiranyaksha. So first they fight with the gadas, the mazes, and then with the swords, with the tridents, a long fight that happens because Lord just wanted to enjoy all this Virya Rasa. At the very end, when it's time to kill, and the demigods say, "Lord, you have had a lot of fun with this demon, but we are afraid that sun will set, so please kill him soon." All that Lord had to do to kill Hiranyaksha is just give a slap on his face, on the jaw, and the Hiranyaksha dies. So all that he had to do is just that. Then why all this? Just to enjoy that Virya Rasa. So that's all the story in the next 3 chapters. We didn't really go in details there, but that's how Hiranyaksha is killed by Lord Varaha. So that is our Bhagavad Gita today, dear devotees, about the Vaikuntha. How we have discussed about how Brahmaji started saying the reason for the gloominess in the universe, that those 2 sons in the womb of Mother Titi. So there we have heard when he started the narration, curtains of Vaikuntha opened. We have heard about how the Lord is staying there in Vaikuntha to please the devotees. And devotees are there in the Vaikuntha to please the Lord. And after that, we have heard about how their focus is, they don't want to be diverted from the nectar of the Harikatha, 0 sense gratification, not the gandha from the flowers also. That's 0 sense gratification. And then 0 madam, 0 matsaryam, 0 madam from all the flowers. They didn't have pride. They bowed down to the austerities and devotion of Tulsi Devi. And there was no envy. All these cuckoos and beautiful birds, all of them, and they paused when the bumblebee was trying to give some Krishna Katha, mimicking Krishna Katha. So there was no superiority, inferiority, or envies there, no pride there, and there is no lust there. They are all in the Anandamaya Kosha, far beyond the Annamaya Kosha. They are in Anandamaya Kosha, 0 lust. Yeah, and all those beautiful residents, all they were doing is, everything is so beautiful and so clean and sparkle there. Still, they're trying to sweep there. All that is to please the Lord, the servitude. That's a world of joyful service. To enter into the world of joyful service, we are given this bhakti to practice it on a daily basis. So anything and everything related to bhakti, we want to be grateful and cherish it and do it. That's how we want to cultivate the joyful service attitude, because that is the ticket to go back. All that we do is to cultivate. So we have all these actions outside, the Bahya Rupa Bhakti, Cheshta Rupa Bhakti, to cultivate that joyful servitude, that bhava inside. And as we just heard, this is the qualification to go to Vaikuntha. when we are absorbed in that blissful servitude, then anything that is related to Hari will cause the ecstatic physical symptoms. Any hearing about Lord Hari, Krishna Nama, Krishna Seva, Krishna Katha, everything brings internal pleasure, and that would show up as external bodily symptoms, and that is the qualification to go back to Vaikuntha that we have heard. And what is the disqualification? When somebody is hearing something else other than the reality. So Gramya Katha, when somebody is spending their time and energy and going into the Gramya Katha more, not into the Hari Katha, then they will not be able to enter into Vaikuntha, that we have heard. Yeah, and after that, the four Kumaras, how they are enchanted just by the darshan of the Lord. How cooling the Lord's presence is. Oh yeah, the Bhagavatam describes how enchanting and cooling Lord's glance and smile is. Yeah, that we have heard. The Kumaras are taken aback. They came from the world of Brahmananda, and here is a world of Bhaktyananda, Sevananda. It's all new to them. The form of the Lord, they could not take their eyes off. And they got spiritually agitated with the transcendental fragrance mixed with the aroma of the pure devotee Tulsi Devi at the lotus feet of the Lord. So they got transformed, and they were asking for anywhere, birth anywhere is okay. My Lord, all we need is your service. And after that, the Lord speaks. Lord speaks his gentle speech and his humility, and he is offering apologies. And he says, the dust of the feet of the devotees are my shelter. Kumaras are taken aback. They say, we can't comprehend anything. All glories to you. All this, even though they all sound very humble and menial, it can only increase your glory, my Lord. They say that, and then Bhagavan, Lord Narayana finalizes everything. He says, okay, these Jaya will go there, 3 births, they will remember me, but in enmity, and then they come back. And then he disappears from that place. So that's what we have heard. And rest of it is Lord Varaha killing Hiranyaksha. I will pause here. Thank you all, dear. Vaikuntha.